This is the Construction Leading Edge podcast from ConstructionLeadingEdge.com and ConstructionBusinessAccelerator.com. My name is Todd DeWalt. I'm your host, and it's my job to help construction business owners maximize revenue, eliminate chaos, and turn their businesses into well-oiled machines. I've got a great interview with my good friend Ryan Lawson from Master Messaging. He's back on the podcast, and he's going to talk to us about how you can use LinkedIn. It's like a gold mine that a lot of other businesses are tapping into, but not many contractors are. So here's what you're going to get out of today's episode. 3 ways that you can use LinkedIn as more than just a Rolodex. You're going to learn about some of the most common mistakes that contractors are making when it comes to thinking about LinkedIn, using LinkedIn, and mistakes that are often made on LinkedIn profiles, some mistakes that you're probably making on your LinkedIn profile. You're also going to learn about how some contractors are actually using LinkedIn to grow their business, to grow their top line and grow their bottom line. And you're going to learn a strategy that you can put into play to grow your business as well. Before we get into the interview, I've got a few resources that I want to get into your hands. If you own a construction business and you want to increase revenue 25 to 50%, if you want to eradicate the chaos in your business and streamline it and turn it into a well-oiled, profitable machine, then this is for you. I want to invite you to take advantage of a special offer for a free business breakthrough coaching session where you and I are going to get on the phone and we'll work together to help you create a crystal clear vision for what ultimate success looks like for your business and the lifestyle that you'd like for your business to provide for you and your family. We're also going to uncover some of the hidden challenges that may be holding you back or even sabotaging the growth of your business, and as a result, keeping you working too many hours and not getting the results you want. And when we're done, you're going to walk away from this session renewed, re-energized, and focused, maybe even inspired to get after it and turn your business into a highly profitable, revenue-generating, well-oiled machine. So if you want to take advantage of this limited time offer for a totally free business breakthrough coaching session, then all you got to do is go to constructionleadingedge.com/call. That's constructionleadingedge.com/CALL. And one more thing for you, if you own a construction business or you're planning on starting a construction company in the near future, I've got a free video series I want to get in your hands. Have you ever wondered, how do the big successful contractors do it? How do they grow consistently? Why don't they have cash flow issues? What are they doing that you're not? Well, I've got a free video series called The Secret Strategies of Successful Contractors that I want to get in your hands. And here's what you're going to uncover in this free video series. One hidden cost that causes a lot of contractors to bleed cash and they don't even know it. There's this new way of thinking that will help you drive revenue, deliver projects on time, and ultimately grow your business and take it to the next level. You'll learn about some of the things that big contractors do to succeed that very few small to medium-sized businesses do. And lastly, you're going to learn why some of the biggest problems you're facing may not be problems at all. So if you want to get this free video series, all you have to do is go to constructionleadingedge.com/owner, OWNER. Click the big red button that says, yes, send me the information, and you will learn some of the secret strategies of successful contractors. I also want to tell you about my Construction Business Accelerator program. Right now, you can get a 10-day free trial, get access to over $9,000 worth of resources, and we're talking about selling on this episode today. And one of the things you're going to get when you sign up for a free 10-day trial of the Construction Business Accelerator over at ConstructionBusinessAccelerator.com is you're going to learn a strategy that will help you close more deals faster with less effort. I've got a strategy that I've used on projects ranging up to $30 million, and it's the secret to closing complex deals faster with less effort. You're going to get that inside the Sales Accelerator portion of the Construction Business Accelerator. All you got to do to grab your free 10-day trial and get access to over $9,000 worth of stuff in there is go to ConstructionBusinessAccelerator.com. Now, without further ado, let's get into the interview with my good friend, Ryan Lawson. How are you, my friend?
Doing very well, Todd.
We're going to be talking about a little bit different topic today, and that topic is what I would consider to be an untapped gold mine that a few people in other industries have figured out how to tap into, and it's our theory that there's a lot of gold there for contractors to tap into, and that gold mine is LinkedIn. It's what some people would call Facebook for professionals, but I think there's a lot of misconceptions out there. There are a lot of good uses for LinkedIn that we're going to talk about today, and I want to throw a couple out there that some of you folks listening may not have realized, and then we're going to talk about one specifically, one strategy that Ryan has figured out that has helped. It's not a theory, it's a fact that it's helping contractors. So a couple of ways to use LinkedIn other than just being a Rolodex. Some people think that LinkedIn is just a good way for people to get in touch with you, like it's a virtual Rolodex, so that when you change jobs, people can still find you, and that may have been what it was intended for initially. But specifically for contractors, one really powerful use for LinkedIn right now is recruiting. If you're having trouble getting people to respond to your job postings, then you may have to go on the offensive when it comes to recruiting, and LinkedIn has some powerful search tools that you can use to go find people in your industry with the experience you're looking for in your geography, and then you can approach them directly. So if you're having trouble finding people and filling your roles for your jobs, then you can use LinkedIn. That's what a lot of recruiters do. There are lots and lots of active headhunters and recruiters on LinkedIn. Another way to use it is you can use it to find subcontractors and suppliers, whether it's in your existing market, maybe you just don't know about these people, or especially if you're going into a new market, doing a project in a different city, then LinkedIn is a great way to find qualified subs. Again, you can search based on niche, industry, size, geography, etc., and find those people. So that's a really powerful use for LinkedIn. But what we want to spend most of our time talking about today is, Ryan, what you guys have figured out on how to use LinkedIn as for more than just recruiting, more than finding subs and vendors, and certainly more than being a Rolodex. What have you guys figured out about LinkedIn? What are you using it for, and why should contractors care?
Well, that's a good question. If you don't mind, I actually want to go back and mention something, just a couple proof points to what you just said about using LinkedIn for recruiting and using LinkedIn to find subs. On the recruiting side, it's been interesting. In the last week, I've connected two colleagues of mine with people who are hiring for their dream job. And they've already completed interviews. They're on to the second, third round of interviews. And all that this VP of sales for a big software company, all that he did was go out there and say, hey, listen, this is what I'm hiring for. If you or anyone in your network knows anyone, let me know. I sent him an email, passed him resumes. They've already had conversations. So that is absolutely right on. I see it work like that every day. And then on the second side about finding subcontractors, one of our clients is a subcontractor for construction companies, and they do custom casework. And so, project managers with construction companies are looking for, subcontractors like them who do custom casework, and they've been putting themselves out there on LinkedIn and have had tremendous response from people who need their services. And so you can do it one way or the other. You can go actively find people, or if you are a contractor for construction companies, you can put your information out there. So just wanted to validate something you just said. Two powerful uses. And you know what it really comes down to is there's over 500 million users on LinkedIn, and almost anyone who's anyone in the business world is active on there. And so, a lot of them are very active on there. They're daily users, weekly users. So it's a huge gold mine for the two things you just talked about.
So this company that you're talking about that sells custom casework, what sort of results have they seen by using LinkedIn? And then maybe we can talk about some of the strategies that they've used in order to get there. But let's start with the results. What has changed for them by using LinkedIn?
Well, prior to this year, prior to engaging our company, Master Messaging, they had grown exclusively off referrals and just folks in their network, different project managers kind of passing their business cards around. But they found it's been very limiting for referrals. We referrals because when someone says, "Hey, use these guys," when that referral comes in, it comes in strong, comes in hot. People are at least halfway sold at that point. But it's really difficult using a passive approach like referrals to grow your company, build your business, set revenue goals. And so what these guys did, they have a daily campaign. They're active on LinkedIn right now, and they're using messaging that we helped them create, and a script and a cadence that we helped them create to connect with people who use their services, project managers and architects and design managers, things like that. And they're actively marketing themselves to this group. So prior to this year, if they talk to, I don't know, a couple people a month, a couple prospects a month, they were having a good month. But right now they're having months where 6 to 8 brand new prospects who have a need for their service now. They have a need for their service now. They're actively looking for people who do casework. They're having multiple conversations and honestly closing business right off of LinkedIn. Leads to a phone call. Next thing you know, they're closing business and selling casework.
Awesome. So let's talk about some of the ways people think about LinkedIn, because there's a lot of misconceptions out there. I probably still have some misconceptions. But you've done a lot of research on LinkedIn. You've studied a lot of the people who are using it on a daily basis. You've mined this gold, so to speak. So let's start with some of the common misconceptions people need to get over when it comes to LinkedIn.
Well, the number one common misconception about LinkedIn is that it is the place, or it's a place just to get a job. And probably from what I've seen, and I've seen a lot of profiles on LinkedIn, from what I've seen, more than 90% of users on LinkedIn are using their LinkedIn profile as a resume. And I think that's a mistake if you're not looking for work. If you're looking for work, great. Set up your LinkedIn profile as a resume. But once you're employed, to keep your profile or to completely walk away from using LinkedIn, it's a big missed opportunity. The opportunity that you have is to convert your LinkedIn profile to something that's more of a marketing piece. So instead of it being all about you and your work history and how great you are at completing projects on time or whatever, or all about your company, what if you were able to convert your site, your actual LinkedIn, personal LinkedIn profile, to talk about how you help your prospects achieve a better result? And so I would say that's the biggest thing. And then secondly, and it dovetails into that, is most of the profiles we see, most of the misconceptions revolve around it being very self-centered. The headline, the title, the summary, the work history is all about you. And, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but nobody cares about you. They don't care about what you can do. They only care about what you can do for them. So those are the two big misses that we see on LinkedIn day in and day out. It's either just a pure resume, or it's just all about them, all about their company, features, benefits of using their product or service. That's a huge mistake.
So when you're talking about LinkedIn pages, are you talking about a personal profile? Should people if someone is a business owner, let's say, should their personal profile be, are you saying make it less of a resume and make it more about what you do for your ideal clients? Or are you talking about setting up a company page that does that?
So on LinkedIn, you could do both things. You could set up a company page, but then the business owners, you could have your own personal page. So I would recommend set up a company page, but where you're going to spend all your time on LinkedIn is actually on your personal page. And that's another thing that marketers have understood this for a long time. People don't buy from companies. They don't interact with companies as much as they interact with individuals. And so you'll have a lot more success using LinkedIn, not so much marketing on a business page as you will putting out good content and connecting with your prospects via your personal page. And so I tell every one of you, if you're not on LinkedIn, get on LinkedIn, and then go ahead and set up a business page. That's fine, but in reality, where you're going to connect with the right people, the right prospects, isn't through that business page. It's going to be through that personal page that you set up.
Yeah, and some people, I think, are hesitant to be the face of the company. They want to hide behind the name of the company, hide behind a company page. But what I tell my coaching clients is whether you consider yourself charismatic, extroverted, or whatever, you are the relationship. You are the person that your client is going to talk to, and to some extent, you just need to get over yourself and get over that anxiety, that reluctance, and embrace the fact you are the face of your company. People are going to connect with you, and you don't have to have all your stuff together in order to do that. You just need to get out there and do it. So that's good advice. So let's talk about what kind of contractors LinkedIn is good for. Who is it not necessarily great for? Let's talk about that a little bit. What have you found to be where's the sweet spot, and then who are the types of contractors that may not be such a great use of resources?
Well, so if your primary buyer, is a B2B sale, if you're selling to other businesses, it's absolutely ideal. Now, I'm definitely not counting out folks who sell directly, a B2C sale, like a residential contractor. But what's going to make it a little bit more difficult about that kind of a sale is how to segment, how to target your audience. But so what we've seen are construction companies, construction clients, construction contractors who want to have a conversation with another business. So that B2B sale is strong. But I will throw something out for B2C. In this, you could take a lot of the principles we're talking about on LinkedIn and apply them, believe it or not, to Facebook. And now that's where Facebook company page is much better than an individual page. But a lot of the concepts will hold up. So we're holding out right now. B2B, go to LinkedIn. B2C, there's some things you can do with Facebook that can connect with the B2C audience.
Yeah, that's a good point. We're just talking about principles that will work on a variety of platforms. And I think that's where a lot of people get hung up. They get hung up on the platform, and they think, I have to use LinkedIn advertising, I have to use LinkedIn messaging, but the platform is really not that useful unless you understand the principles and you have good messages. So do you have a case study or some results that you can walk us through? I know you've got a few contractors that are more than a few contractors maybe that you've seen get some results using LinkedIn, but if you just walk through where they were, where they ended up, where they're at now, and how they got there, that'd be great.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So we signed our first contractor a few months ago to a program we've been running for other businesses. It's been a lot of software tech sales, and so there was an element where we were wondering, is this going to work, for our construction clients? But we had a client take the jump with us, walked them down a process to basically renovate their personal LinkedIn profile to be something more of a marketing piece, to reach out to their prospects, which are huge national retailers, huge national restaurant companies. And they do commercial construction for these guys. And really, if they could acquire one or two of these big national clients in a year, that would have been a huge success for them. These are big clients, have the potential to throw them a ton of work over a given calendar year. So their goal was, hey, if we could land one or two. And so prior to engaging with us, same situation, with the casework company, 100% of their growth had come organically through referrals, real passive, more or less waiting for the phone to ring. And so they wanted a way to actively engage their prospects, to go after these big national retailers, big national restaurant companies, but honestly had no idea how to do it. So we came up and we said, hey, listen, these people, after doing some research, we found them on LinkedIn by the thousands. The exact people they want to talk to, there were thousands of them on and active in LinkedIn. And so we said, hey, there's a huge opportunity here. So we engaged them in this process. We got them on there, got them active. And again, the goal for success, 1 to 2 clients in a 12-month period would have been huge, transformative. Well, in the first 45 days, they had acquired those two clients. And in fact, they've been having multiple conversations on a weekly basis with the exact prospects that they've been wanting to talk to. And for them, honestly, the biggest issue that they're going to have to face is going to be about capacity, that they're going to be able to outsell their capacity to deliver the work and have to make a choice on, how big do we want our company to be? In fact, Todd, you'll love this. I spoke to the business owner, and he said, I'm concerned. He said, we had talked with you about doing this for 12 months, but what happens if we just need to stop the activity because we're over capacity and we've outgrown, our ability to deliver? And I said, oh, that's fine. We'll talk about it at that point. I said, you can pay us for the whole contract, but we'll stop working after 3 months. No problem.
It's a good problem to have.
Great problem to have.
Probably an unexpected problem to have. I know we've talked about this quite a bit, and when some people hear about it, they think it's just too good to be true. And has that been a common response? Have you heard that from some people?
No, absolutely. We have had opportunities with some of our prospects, which we're sharing with them, not just anecdotal, but personal testimony from other business owners. And I've had my integrity questioned more than once. And it just makes me laugh. And that's how right now it's a huge untapped opportunity. And it's one of the reasons we're talking today. I think especially in the construction industry, to not sit around and be all chummy and only close deals through referral business, but to actively put yourself in front of the buyers of your services, the people who are actually stroking checks and buying the services that you provide, to actively put yourself in front of them, to offer something of value, to let them know that you exist. It's a huge untapped opportunity. But yeah, I've had my integrity questioned a couple times, had a lot of people wondering, hey, that sounds great for them. I wonder if it would work for me. Yeah. And you know what? We've had to face those questions, and I'm sure that there's an industry where people aren't actually. I'll give you a quick example. I had a client come to us, and their primary contacts are in the government space, almost exclusively, and they had a conviction that their contacts were not active on LinkedIn. and in any kind of significant numbers. And so for them, maybe it won't work, but if your clients are and your prospects are on and active on LinkedIn, utilizing the platform is a really good bet right now, especially in the construction industry.
Yeah. So as we're talking, I realized this is not, while this is a different approach to marketing than most contractors use. When contractors think about marketing, they think yellow pages, signs on vans, billboards, job site signs, sort of untargeted marketing, you could say. But direct response marketing and direct targeted strategic marketing has been around for decades. People have been getting mailing lists of people based on income and geography and homeownership and all sorts of demographics and marketing directly to those people for decades.
That's right.
Maybe not necessarily contractors, but this approach of direct marketing, strategic marketing, it goes along well with what I teach and what I show a lot of my clients, which is right to left thinking instead of just picking up the phone and sending in estimates whenever somebody calls for one, just determining the result you want, working backwards from there, determining the kind of client you want to work with that's going to get you those results, and then strategically and proactively getting your message in front of them. Because let's face it, somebody is going to determine the success of your business, and somebody's going to determine who hears about your company, and it might as well be you, instead of just hoping for the best and or throwing money out the window with billboards and yellow pages and things like that. So, all right, give us a high. Well, let me talk about this. Let's talk about who this will work for. All right, I'm thinking this strategy will help general contractors get in front of project owners, whether they are industrial facility managers, hospital facility managers, real estate developers. All of those people live on LinkedIn and they're available. If you are a subcontractor, then if you want to contact general contractors, that's a great way to do that. If you are a supplier or a vendor and you sell to subcontractors or prime contractors or whatever, you can use this approach to get in front of the people that you want to sell to. And even if you are in the residential business, if you're a residential subcontractor, a lot of your clients are general contractors and builders. They're going to be on LinkedIn. So while there are a few little segments of the construction industry that this may not work for, I'm seeing a big part of the pie that this will help with. So if you would, what's the strategy? What's the high level strategy? What are the pieces of the puzzle that need to be hooked together to make this thing work?
Well, that's a great question, and it's where we start all the conversations about how to leverage LinkedIn. So at a very high level, it's the understanding that 500 million users, and more than likely your target prospects are out there. They're active on the platform. And maybe one of the better things about LinkedIn as well is that they're updating their own information. So it's not like an old phone book, or if you buy a lead list with static information. If you can imagine a phone book that everyone updates on their own on a regular basis. So that's why it's such a good repository of information. So where we encourage our clients and just anyone we're talking to about LinkedIn is you start with your profile, your personal profile page, and make it all about all the content on that page. You need to see it, take 2 steps back from who you are and what you do and what your company does to who your prospect is and what are they trying to accomplish? What are they challenged with, and how can you uniquely help them overcome their challenges to achieve their goals? And if you will simply just starting with that, with your LinkedIn headline, which is basically your job title, and then your LinkedIn summary, which is a brief description of who you are and what you can do. If you can rewrite that information from the point of view of your ideal buyer, your ideal client profile, you will be ahead of about 90% of other users on LinkedIn just by doing that. So that's where you start. And of course, that begins with a deep understanding of your ideal client profile, who you want to talk to. And so, and Todd, I'll throw this out there. Here's a little bonus tip for folks who are trying to get in the mindset of who they're doing business with, is what you can do. You can actually go online, go on Google and look up a job posting for someone in that role. And what you'll find is a detailed list of the things that they're being hired to do. And by understanding that list, you can get a pretty good understanding of the world of your prospect, their day-to-day, what they're trying to accomplish. And so if you will write your profile from that point of view, you'll be way ahead of a lot of other users. So that's where you start. Secondly, I'd encourage you to get LinkedIn Navigator. LinkedIn Navigator is an upgrade to the basic LinkedIn service, which is free. And LinkedIn Navigator, just very simply, it gives you powerful search capabilities to build very detailed prospect lists using the different the different nomenclature, things like geography, things like company size, looking up contacts, via their title or skill set, keyword searches even. And so get LinkedIn Navigator, and there's a whole bunch of things you can do in LinkedIn Navigator to build those detailed prospect lists. And then, so with a profile from your prospect's point of view, with LinkedIn Navigator set up and having built lists of people you want to talk to in your company, what we recommend at this point is to execute a series of, we call them in the marketing world, they're called touches. And we're not going at them with a hard sale, but we're doing things like viewing prospects. We're doing things like connecting or sending connect requests to these prospects. And the reason we view prospects is actually pretty simple. A portion of people, when they log into LinkedIn, there's a little button there. It says, who's viewed my profile? And so LinkedIn, what it does, it'll keep a running list of every professional that's viewed your profile. And so when you view your prospects' profiles, there's a portion of them, there's a percentage of them who every day when they log in, or maybe once a week when they log in, they want to see who's viewed my profile. And what they're going to see when they click on that button is your smiling face and in your headline what you can do to help them. Mm-hmm. And I'll give you an example. When I view my prospect list, when they click on my profile, they see my happy smiling face and a line that says, I help CEOs increase revenue by lifting lead volume. So it's very specific. Mm-hmm. So when I'm talking to CEOs, when I'm viewing CEOs, they see that I'm here to help. I'm here to help. And so we're viewing prospects, and then we're sending them connect requests, and then we're the ones that connect with us, we're sending them honestly just a bunch of good information, things like blog articles, maybe even a podcast link, Todd. I mean, that could be good, something that could help them with what they're challenged with today, where they're at. And this kind of activity at scale leads to quality conversations with people that you want to do business with. So at a high level, that's what it is. It's updating the profile, building prospect lists in LinkedIn Navigator, and then doing a series of touches that includes viewing, sending connect requests, and then sending them a series of scripted messages that just offer them something of tremendous value, culminating in a request for a conversation.
So a couple of things there. One thing I should have mentioned before is while there is a LinkedIn ad program, that's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about buying ads. We're talking about using, frankly, you could do this with a free LinkedIn account. The Sales Navigator is going to give you some more capabilities to do that. And yeah, I realized that I was guilty with my LinkedIn profile. You know, it didn't say anything about how I help people, and I see these all the time. I see some that are, construction professional. Wow, that's amazing. You're a construction professional. Who gives a crap? I'm a little amused by people who call themselves visionaries on LinkedIn. Visionary, innovator. These pie in the sky type things. I wouldn't necessarily recommend that, but I love the headline, I help blank with blank, because that makes it really simple for people to look at your name and your headline and say, I wonder if this guy can help me. He helps people like me do that. So one thing I wanted to spend a little bit of time talking about is the first thing is to figure out who is your ideal prospect. And I think this requires some work, because you could pick the wrong type of person because you're going after a person. You're not going after companies necessarily. So if you pick the wrong person type, the wrong avatar, then the rest of this is not going to work. So if you are let's say you're a subcontractor trying to develop relationships with general contractors, you need to figure out who are the decision makers that you want to talk to. You probably don't want to connect with the CEO of a billion-dollar company because, one, they may not connect with you, and two, they're not making project-level decisions. You probably want to connect with estimators or project managers or regional directors, something like that, the people who are the decision makers. And if you are a vendor selling construction materials or construction accessories to general contractors, concrete contractors, for example, again, you don't need to connect with people in human resources. You don't need to connect with C-level executives. You need to connect with the people who are making decisions. So I think you need to I would recommend you spend a lot of time deciding who are you going to target. What are the titles that you're going to target? And make sure that you're going after the right people, because it all has to tie together, right? The person you're going after, the problems you're offering to solve, the value that you're going to offer in your messages, it all needs to tie together. Otherwise, you'll just lose people and they just won't care.
Can I jump in there, Todd?
Sure.
That is so true, and consistently, this is one of the more difficult things for our clients to do, and it's one of the reasons they ask for our help, is getting inside the mind of your ideal client profile, this prospect. We teach our clients that every meaningful conversation starts by asking and answering the question, who am I talking to? Because by answering that question, everything about your conversation is going to change if your conversation is built from your prospect's point of view, which is crucial. And we see so many, even construction companies doing that. All of their messaging to their ideal prospects is all about them. It's all about, quality customer service, on time, on budget, highly integrous. It's all about them, but you've got to get inside the mind of your prospect, and so that's huge. And then specifically to a LinkedIn campaign, it really only works. The one that we're advocating for, these kind of campaigns really only work for one specific prospect, one specific profile, or as you said, an avatar. In fact, the more general you are with this approach, the less successful you're likely to be. And that's because what you want happening is you want your ideal prospect to, when you view their profile, when you send them a connect request and there's that headline, who you help, what you help them do, and a very, very brief summary of how you help them do it. When you're using that formula, if you get that prospect right, if you nail that, they're going to feel like they have a finger in their chest. You are talking to them right here and right now. And so I couldn't advocate that more strongly. Do the homework, do the heavy lifting, and understand the world of your prospect from their point of view.
Yeah, and you may not get it right the first time. You may have to test some things. This is not a silver bullet, right? I think a lot of people suffer from silver bullet syndrome, thinking that if I just buy this, or if I just use this strategy, if I just fill in the blank, then all my problems, all my wildest, like vote for Pedro, all your wildest dreams will come true. Well, strategies are just that, and the heavy lifting, as you said, is in the mental heavy lifting of doing the hard work, trying to figure out who are the people you want to get to, what are the messages, trying things, tweaking, iterating, trying new things, not expecting it to be perfect right out of the gate. And the beauty of this is there are so few people doing it that it's almost uncharted territory. Most of what we see in the construction industry, well, on the bell curve of innovators to late adopters, we're pretty late adopters as an industry. We're not on the cutting edge of these things. Right now, I think using LinkedIn in this way is probably not quite in the middle of the bell curve yet, but other parts of the world, other parts of the industry have been doing it for a couple of years. People who jump on now have an opportunity to capitalize. This is a real opportunity to get out in front and make connections with clients. And what I would say is to think of these are not like one call closes. You can't go into this thinking, well, I'm going to make a connection request, or I'm going to update my profile, I'm going to pick an avatar, I'm going to put together a magical series of magical questions and connections and case studies or whatever, and the phone's just going to start ringing, and people will pick up the phone and call me and ask me to sign a contract. It's probably not going to work that way. I would say this is the beginning of building a relationship, and that you have to be in it for the long game. So imagine if you're doing, let's say you're doing $1 million a year, let's say $10 million a year in work. Let's say you're a general contractor, you're doing $10 million a year in work. Your average deal size is $1 million, right? If you could have 2 additional projects, if you could yield 2 additional projects a year from this, then at an average 5% net profit, that's what, 50 grand a project, that's 100 grand that you're going to make from this. And if you're working with real estate developers, private industry, industrial clients, whatever, anything other than the government, you're going to get yourself at the table. You're going to get more at-bats. You're going to get opportunities to bid on projects that you didn't even know about. This is what so many people miss out on, is they don't know what they don't know. And there are opportunities out there that if they had the relationship, if they made the connection with the right person, maybe you'll make a connection this year, and then you'll get invited to bid on a project next year. And then if you stay in the game, you'll get invited to bid on every project. Because I can tell you, I've bought $200 or $300 million worth of construction work, and buyers, strategic sourcing people, project managers, owners reps, they need qualified subcontractors. They need qualified contractors to bid. And if you will respond and develop a relationship, you're going to get your foot in the door, and you're going to get those at-bats. So this is a long game, but I believe there are a lot of opportunities out there. I talk to people all the time. They're looking for qualified contractors. And if you come along and the timing's right, you may get a message that says, hey, I've got a job right now. I need a quote on. We need to talk, because if the timing works out and you're offering something they need, then it's going to be a good thing. But even if that doesn't happen, you're going to get at-bats. Nothing but good things are going to come out of it, and the return is huge. The return is just absolutely huge for a lot of folks. So what are some mistakes that people need to avoid? Some common mistakes, big no-nos. We've already talked about updating profiles and thinking about it differently. What are some other mistakes you see people making that should be avoided?
Well, and I know we've covered it, but I do want to reiterate it. And I want you to say after me, everyone right now, as you're listening to me, repeat after me, nobody cares about you.
Wait a minute. Even if we've been in business since 1932 and we have a fleet of Mack dump trucks and the maximum reach on our Cat whatever is 32 feet 7 inches, you're telling me they don't care? But it's on the board. It's on the wall of our conference room, Ryan.
Just repeat after me. Nobody cares about you. Yeah, people they only care about what you can do for them. Yeah. And so start there. And that's a mistake people make. It's all about them. But even in an initial conversation with a prospect, even in any kind of back and forth or sending them information, everything has to go through the filter of what are they trying to accomplish? How can I help them? How can I help make their world, a better place? But one of the things that I see, and I get these regularly, I'm very active on LinkedIn, and you probably too. I get spammed on LinkedIn, and what a spam looks like is someone selling in a connect request. And I've never met you, I've never seen you, I don't know who you are or what you do, but our first contact is a connect request asking for a meeting or sometimes pitching a product or a service. So don't sell in the connect request. Don't ask for anything initially. You're not asking for a meeting. You're not asking for a phone call. You're simply connecting with people that you help and through prospects that you potentially could help. And then what we hear, what we'll see a lot of, and it's similar. So, hey, someone may give me the old bait and switch where they will send a connect request. It'll seem relatively innocuous. And as soon as I connect with them, the emails start coming, the LinkedIn emails start coming, and they start spamming me in the email box. Mm-hmm. And it's a very aggressive, very forward sale. Mm-hmm. I think I can help you. Here's my product. Here's my service. Call me. Book a time on my calendar. And that's a huge mistake. And so what we're advocating for is something it's more of a marketing approach. Todd, you're just mentioning about the timing being right. The vast majority of the meetings that our clients are booking through this outreach, they're inbound. They're inbound requests. And what that looks like, and I've seen it with some of our construction clients. Hey, we need to talk. Here's my cell number. Call me today. I mean, that's the level of engagement that our construction clients, are getting from buyers. And the reason it's like that is because basically our clients are putting themselves in front of the right people at scale. They're doing this hundreds, even thousands of times. So someone in that group just walked out of a meeting where the decision was made to go get contractors, to go get a construction company, go get a subcontractor. And sure enough, they log into their LinkedIn and there's someone smiling at them who helps them solve the very problem that they're tasked with solving. And so the deal velocity of the deals that our clients are winning through this approach using LinkedIn, it's high. I mean, it really is. These deals move fast. They move very quick, and the reason they move quick is because the timing is right. And not because you connected with one or two people, because you connected with 100 or 200 people, and someone in that group needs your services today. So we would advocate for not an aggressive selling approach. That's a huge mistake people make. Very aggressive, very in your face, selling in the connect request, selling in the initial email. We don't do that. We take a passive marketing approach where we add something of value over time. We just stay in our ideal prospects, point of view, point of vision.
Yeah, I've somehow gotten myself on email lists from a few of those aggressive people where apparently LinkedIn connections automatically go into an email list, and you get these crazy headlines. Why did you break up with me? What's wrong? Are you okay? And then one thing that drives me crazy is I'll respond and say, sure, let's talk. And then I don't get a response. And I keep getting these stupid spam emails. So one bit of advice would be if somebody messages you back, then you damn sure better pick up the phone or get that conversation off LinkedIn and get it on the phone or in person. But that's a whole other conversation. That's something you can help people with in the future, is answering the question, well, what do I do now?
Right. They're wanting to talk to you. What do you say in that conversation?
Right. It's like the pretty girl at school picked up the phone finally for the 100th time. What do I say? So you better have something good to say, and I'm sure you can help people with that. Yeah. So we're running out of time. This has gone faster than I expected. I think it's been pretty helpful. Oh, the last thing I wanted to say is what I love about this approach is that you are developing a relationship with people. You are giving without any expectation. You are offering value. You're giving people the opportunity to get to know you, to like you, to trust you, see you as a valuable resource. And even though you may not get a response in the first week, first 2 weeks, first month, it may be a while, when they have a need, then they will remember you. They can go back and find that message. They'll have a post on LinkedIn from you, and you will have warmed them up. They will be a warm lead. They will not be a cold call. And unbeknownst to you, you're developing relationships with people in spite of the fact that you're not seeing any sort of response back. So it is a long game, but it's about serving your clients, and I'm telling you, this stuff works. All right. Well, we're running out of time. What if people want to find out more and they want to talk to you about how to implement this approach? Well, first of all, is this approach valid for their business? And then how can they put it to work for them? How can people get in touch with you? And what's the next step for them to take with you, Ryan?
Well, this could absolutely be transformative to their business, to create opportunities that didn't exist, days, weeks, months ago. So, and as Todd, as you said, this could be a huge deal for construction leaders right now. And I have noticed our clients who are on this platform, I don't think anyone is marketing to their prospects like this. So as you mentioned, I think it's a huge untapped opportunity. But we'd love to talk to you about how this might work in your business. And we can get to that, and we can get to that in a hurry, doing a couple LinkedIn searches just to make sure that your prospects are active, that they're on LinkedIn, and then talk to you about a couple different options for using an approach like this, using a LinkedIn campaign. Easiest thing to do, best thing to do is to reach out to me. My name is Ryan Lawson, rlawson@mastermessaging.com, rlawson@mastermessaging.com, or you can just go to our website, mastermessaging.com. Any email button on that website will send you to my email box. But that's where it needs to start. We need to have a conversation, look into how a program like this could queue up first conversations for you to develop new business in the coming years.
So if people are interested, they should hit you up at rlawson@mastermessaging.com. You'll set up a time, and then correct me if I'm wrong, but you can actually talk them through this process on the fly and then give them some idea of how many people are out there, of what that might look like. That's awesome.
That's right. We can vet the effectiveness of a campaign like this. We could do that over the phone. It really just takes a few minutes. I need a little bit of information on who you're wanting to talk to. I'll have LinkedIn up and running, and we'll conduct some searches over the phone just to make sure that this is a good option for you and your company.
Awesome. Great stuff. Any last parting shots for construction business owners, leaders? If there was one thing people should take away from this conversation, what should it be?
I would say be one of those early adopters because for someone, an approach like this, and maybe it's not just LinkedIn, but for someone, this is going to be a competitive advantage. And it will continue to be so until it's adopted across the board and everyone's doing it. And then you're just one of many. But right now, you have an opportunity. Really take a leap, invest in an opportunity like this. The people and the clients that we're serving right now they have not regretted this at all. So be one of the early adopters. Get out there ahead of the curve.
Good advice. Well, it's always fun, Ryan. I appreciate you taking the time to be on the podcast, and I'll have a link after we're done here where you can go to the show notes for this podcast, and folks can you can get Ryan's email address, get the website, and get all the information so you can go get in touch with Ryan and go from there. Again, thanks, Ryan. I appreciate it, man.
Thanks for having us. Thanks for having me. Much appreciated.
All right, you can get all of the links and the notes from this podcast episode over at constructionleadingedge.com/090. This is episode 90. Be sure to contact Ryan. He will get on the phone with you. He will tell you how this is going to help you, and this could be the thing that is a turning point for your business. So take some time, check this out. Take Ryan up on his offer to see how this is going to help you grow your business. Don't forget about those resources I want to get in your hands. You can schedule your business breakthrough call at constructionleadingedge.com/call. Also, go get your free Secrets of Successful Contractors video series at constructionleadingedge.com/owner. And then go grab your free 10-day trial of the Construction Business Accelerator program. You're going to learn that secret that will help you close complex deals faster with less effort. And you're going to get access to the project execution formula, my mindset upgrade, the crew productivity booster, and a whole lot more stuff. It's free, absolutely free for 10 days, no strings attached. Go get it at constructionbusinessaccelerator.com. And as always, I appreciate the ratings and reviews. I actually want to read a couple of reviews that came in recently. This is one from Brian. It says, Construction Leading Edge is an excellent resource for anyone in the construction industry. This podcast covers relevant topics with good, sound advice and perspectives. Always worth a listen. I appreciate that. And let's see. Here's one. This is from S.B. Foreman, who says, this is my favorite podcast right now. Keep up the work. Keep up the great work. Thank you. So I appreciate that. If you could take a couple of minutes, if you're on iTunes, if you could leave a review and a rating on iTunes, that helps get the word out there to the rest of the world. And that's kind of nice for me too. I like to get some feedback. If you have any other questions, or if there's anything else I can do for you, if you have a specific question, if you got a question about any of the programs, any of the solutions I offer, then shoot me an email, todd@constructionleadingedge.com. And some people say this is a little crazy, but I'm going to give you my phone number as well. You can call me or send me a text. And all you got to do is call or text 859-667-2015, and I will respond. You can ask a few people who have actually taken me up on that offer. So if you've got any questions about what I'm doing, what I can do to help you, anything else, listen, I'm here to help you. Take me up on that offer. Call or text 859-667-2015. And I appreciate your attention and the time you invest in listening to the podcast. And I will see you next time. Thanks.